Okay. And we'll go ahead and get started. This is kind of an interactive presentation where I don't have a PowerPoint, but what I'm going to do is share my screen with you and go right into the program and kind of show you what it can do and how you can use it for grading. It is called Bluebeam Review, and it does cost money, so it's not something that's free, it's available. But at the end of the presentation, I'll show you a website where they have some of the better pricing, and they also offer an education discount. The software is about $100, and you don't have to keep upgrading it. Once you have a version, they have upgrades every year, but I don't upgrade every year. It's just, it works perfectly for what I need it. And basically, it's a PDF markup software. And so when I go into the screen sharing, I'm not going to be able to have the chat open. So if you have questions, just use your microphone, okay? I'm just waiting for confirmation. Okay. Well, let's see. Let me go into my screen sharing, and I will try to minimize the window to have the chat available. It doesn't always work. Okay, so let me open up the review program. So this is Bluebeam Review, and let me see if there's any way that I can minimize this so I can also have the chat window open. I think I'm figuring it out, so bear with me for just a second. I'm just trying to fill out the screen so it's a little bit bigger on your screen. Okay, I think that's about as good as I can get it. So I can see the chat window, and then I've put the screen so it's on your screen so you can see it. Okay, so I think we're good for now. So this is when you log in or when you open up the program of review, this is what you get. And I've done this presentation where I just had screenshots, but it works better if I just kind of go in and show you how it works and the functionality of it and how it can really enhance or actually save you hours of time grading, particularly if you have essay assignments. My name is Deanna Haken, and I forgot to introduce myself. I teach anthropology at West, and I am full-time teaching humanities at Valley. So a lot of the assignments that I have are essay assignments, a lot of writing assignments, and so this has actually just saved me tons and tons of time instead of hand grading. And so we'll go through some of the tools that you can use in using Bluebeam. So the first thing when you get there, these are all my recent files. You can see that I've been grading papers, and after I'll just pull one up. So once you've graded it, you have, what it does is that it saves it as a PDF, and you can save all of your comments. And for some reason, okay, here we go. So you can see that I've marked this up, everything in red, and you can change the ink color, and I'll show you how to do that as well. But what it does is that it saves, and you can save these comments and drag them right onto the papers. So that's just one of the, you can kind of see an assignment that I've graded, and then I have, the final grade at the bottom there. So let me go ahead and open up a document that hasn't been graded. I just downloaded a couple this morning. See if I can find them. And these I haven't graded. They were just turned in. I haven't finished grading this class. So this is an assignment, and what I have my students do is save it as a PDF. And I'll upload a document into the system at the end of the presentation of what I give out to my students that just shows them how to save it as a PDF if they're using Pages on a Mac or Microsoft Word, or I even have WordPerfect on there, which I don't think anybody still uses, but I keep it on there in case somebody does happen to use that program. So they've saved their paper as a PDF, and this program is a PDF markup software. And so what I can do is I go through and I just read it on the computer. And the really nice thing about Bluebeam is that this tool chest right here allows you to save your comments. And if you move this over, you can have this view where you can, you can print out a chart that has the numbers, and say if I knew what number 2 is, it says, omit space. If there was an extra space, I can just click on the number 2 button, and it will go right in. And then I can drag my arrows wherever I need it. So if sometimes students have extra spaces in between paragraphs, or if they have a really large heading, I'll just go in and put omit space. So if you know the number, you can just type the number and that comment will come up. You can also drag and drop. So if I wanted to say this is a great opening paragraph, I have all of these comments already saved. You can see I have quite a few. And you just drag and drop. So you're not writing over and over and over the same comments as we typically do on a lot of papers. Now Bluebeam itself, they have already in the program these proofreading symbols. And so say on this paragraph here, I didn't want them to start a new paragraph. I can just drag and drop this already pre-done proofreading symbols. If they have, say they have an apostrophe here and they shouldn't be, you can just do the /out symbol. If you're not sure what the symbol means, you just hover over it and it'll tell you what it means. And what I've done with my students is that I've given them a sheet of paper in the syllabus, like attached to the syllabus, that has these common markup symbols that I'm going to be using on their papers, and then they know if they're not familiar with these editing symbols, then they can go on and they can see, oh, SP with a circle around it means that I should have spelled this out. I should not have used a contraction. I tend to use very formal writing styles, so I have a comment, please stick to the third person, spell out, I use the spell out for contractions, and everybody grades a little bit differently, but there's these wonderful editing symbols that you can use right into the program. So if you say that this should have been italics, you can just drag and drop that right onto the paper. So it makes it a lot easier, and you can save your toolbox. It's called the tool chest. So you can save it, and you can download it. And so Bluebeam, the way the license works is that you can have one license open at a time. So if I say I'm on my desktop right now, I also have a laptop. If I want to switch back and forth, you can transfer the license. and you just have the license number, and you delete, it doesn't delete the program, but it deletes the license on one computer, and you can put it onto another computer. So I switch back and forth from my desktop to my laptop. Now, the one thing about Bluebeam is that they do not have a Mac program yet. So if you do have a Mac, then you'll need to run Parallels and have a Windows operating system also on your Mac. I'm a Mac user, but I do have a PC desktop that I use particularly for this program. I keep a PC, so I can just go in and use that. I do also have an old PC laptop that I switch licenses back and forth, and it's pretty easy to do as well. So when you're done marking up, you just can click Save, and I usually say Save As and graded, or I have a separate folder that's the ones that are actually graded. And so that's pretty easy. And so the program, the fact that it has this tool chest makes it really unique. That's actually proprietary to Bluebeam. They're the ones that have this, and so you can save all of your comments. Again, if there are incomplete sentences, the spell out, make sure you cite your quote, and you can always just drag and drop these arrows to where you're talking about. So it makes it really nice. Another feature, some other features of the program is that all of these over here are editing tools. So if I wanted to highlight a section, I just click on this highlight, and I can highlight a whole sentence, click on it again to get rid of it, and then I can say, do this call out, keep to the third person, and they know that I'm talking about that whole sentence. And so there's a lot of really nice editing tools in here, if particularly for writing assignments, essays, those sorts of things. Again, there are a lot of these tools. So to make a new call out, what you do is that you go up to this Markup button here. And this is basically allows you to create any sort of markup that you want. You can have a text box, and that's what I've done at the bottom of the paper. So I'll do a text box, and that's where I'll write some general comments. Great paper, you have some, if I can spell, sorry, it's always a little unnerving when people are watching you type. And then you just give it a score. Now, I also I have some comments that are saved to my desktop, and I have rubrics. So on some of my papers, I have rubric like where it's 10 points for grammar and 10 points for proper citation. And so I have that copied, and you can make a call out for that, and then just drag and drop and put in the points if you use have a particular rubric that you use. To delete anything, you just kind of click on this, and when you see these dotted lines around, you can click delete, and it will go away. And so if I wanted to delete this comment, oops, I dragged the wrong comment, you just highlight it and delete it. So the program is quite intuitive and really easy to use. Anything you do, you can undo. So text, also these are those call out boxes, and these are the ones that I typically use is the call out. So if I want to make a comment here, good analysis, you can do that, and you can just type and have the call out. Now, when you have a new call out, it will show you your recent tools here, and this is that one that I just added. To save it to your tools, you just drag it up there, and you have a new call out, and you can see it says good analysis. And so you can drag it to your tools, and it will save it. It saves them like the most recent 6 or 7 tools, and you can kind of go through and see the ones that you've used recently. But these recent tools will go away. So it's easier to just drag. If you think it's something that you're going to be using a lot, just drag it up to the My Tools section. There are these different shapes that you can use. I haven't used them, but so these are built into the program as well, just like the proofreading symbols. Up here, there's a pen or a highlight. These are the quick tools on the sidebar that kind of match these markup tools up here as well. This is the quick tool for that call-out box, and you can just drag it, and it'll be there. Or you can go to markup text. There's also a really quick way of doing it, and the call-out tool is Q. So if you just type Q, it will just appear for you. A T is the text box, and you can create a text box and then type in that as well. So once you get used to using the program, it gets pretty intuitive with trying, knowing the little shortcuts to add in. If you wanted to add a hyperlink, you could. If you wanted to include an image, again, they have the shapes. Lines are somewhat helpful. I use this arrow, which the shortcut is an A. So if I have a comment with a call-out box and I need it to go to 2 places that are nearby each other, I'll just draw an extra arrow so they know in these 2 places they need to address that one comment. And that makes things a little easier as well. Do you have any questions so far? You're doing all right. Okay. And one, you can add an attachment. The stamp is just, you can create stamps, and you can actually create a stamp for a rubric if you want to do it that way. I just use the call-out box and I have it saved. But you can have a date and time approved. I mean, there's all these sort of pre-programmed stamps, but you can also create your own. So if I wanted to have a date, I could just stamp the date and it would be right there. And then I know what day I graded it or whatever. So there are different tools, and there are different things that are already built into the program. Another thing that I like about Bluebeam, and this is a really nice tool, is, Windows. So I'm going to split my window here. And what I'm going to do, so you now see that there are 2 windows side by side. I'm going to add a web tab. And so what I did is that I went up to I went up to Window, and I hit Split Vertical. So you can do it horizontal, or you can do it vertically. I like to randomly pick sentences. And particularly after you get to reading and all of a sudden it seems like they have a PhD in the topic that they're writing about, I pick the Select tool. So if you go to Edit, up here, you can click Select, and you can select certain text. So I select some text, and then I just use my keyboard shortcut, Control-C to copy it. And then I'll put it right over here and use my keyboard shortcut, Control-V to paste it. It's not working. You can also right-click. Why is it not working? This has never not worked for me before, so this is really odd that it's doing that. Let me just open up another file. Sorry about that. Why are these not found? I'm going to switch the windows here. Okay, let me see if I can get this to work. I'm not sure why. I've never had a problem with it. I do this all the time. So here's a direct quote. There we go. And so with this Google window open, you can check for plagiarism very easily and have your documents open side by side. And I can see that she got this is actually a quote right from the book, from the Scarlet Pimpernel, and she cited it. It was in quotation, so that's okay. But if you wanted to just select any sentence, you can just go into the web, which is under this File tab. Just add a web tab, and you can search for it that way and see what comes up. And so this didn't match any documents, so she hasn't plagiarized. And so it's a really nice tool to have that window right in the program so you don't have to keep going back and forth. I use that a lot. I randomly check every paper, a couple different sentences in a couple different places, and it's very quick to do that just to see if they plagiarize. I think most students now, when they plagiarize, they use Google or they just use the internet, so it's pretty easy to find them. So the split screen is really helpful. Another thing that I've used this split screen for is that when I've read papers and it looks like they're copying off of each other, I can pull two papers up side by side and look to see if they've actually cheated, how similar they are. Is it word for word, or is it just kind of sounding the same, similar because they wrote about the same book or the same topic, whatever the case may be. So it's really nice to have this split window open. It's good if you have a larger computer screen. On my laptop it was a little small, but it was it's really nice. Like, I have a larger desktop screen, and so the font doesn't get completely small. Yeah, I think the software is fantastic too. And again, it isn't free. I think the education discount is about $100. And so if you think about that investment on how much time you would save in grading, for me, it was a no-brainer. It was an easy decision for me because I've literally saved hours and hours of time using this software. So another thing you can do, so that's using it for grading, which is the sort of the emphasis. And if you have any questions, I can answer those. Just to kind of familiarize yourself with these tools, so it's called Bluebeam Review, and I'll show you a website. It's called Orange Blade, where they have some of the best pricing. And you can actually create PDF documents. Once you have this software, it's like having Adobe Creative Suite or the Adobe Acrobat, PDF Creator. It's not the entire Creative Suite. It doesn't have all the web site building and all those other tools, but it's like having the full Adobe Acrobat to create PDFs. So you can create PDFs yourself. So they have all of these sort of input forms, or you can just create a new document. And so if you click custom, you can have whatever size you want, and you can click OK. Now I'm creating a new document. And again, you'll use your edit tabs up here. And if I want to make a form, you can include data. You can have a form editor, which opens up over here. It's a new screen. And you can include a text box. And so if you're familiar with how to create PDFs in Adobe, it's quite similar here. And again, you can do markups once you create a document. There are these measuring tools if you want to have the ruler. You can have precise measurements. This particular software is used a lot by architects and draftsmen and things like that as well. And so they have a lot of tools that architects or the building industry would need. So you said you're grading student memos, letters, reports, and it is hard to give specific feedback online. Now, before I had the software, I was using Microsoft Word and track changes, and it gets so cumbersome because you have to type in those comments, and I used to have a sheet that I had popular comments, so I'd have to open up another window, copy and paste into the other document, and it's really difficult. So even for my face-to-face classes, what I've done is that I web enhance my classes now, and so they all have an Etude shell, and they turn in their assignments online. A couple of caveats: because it's web enhanced, you can't force students to participate in the web enhanced environment, but I have an incentive. So if the class meets Tuesday, Thursday from 11 to 12:45, or 11:20 to 12:45, I give them until midnight, the day the assignment is due, to turn it in online. If they don't, if they want to turn in an old school kind of hard copy, then they have to turn it in class before at the beginning of class. And so I've kind of incentivized them. I give them until midnight because I'm not going to grade them that day. I usually have a 2-week turnaround for grading because they're all writing assignments. And so because of that, most students will turn in their paper online. Another thing that's come out of that is that there tends to be a correlation between turning in assignments and absences, or when an assignment is due, there's a higher number of absences. Because my paper isn't due in class and they're not fighting printers or trying to finish it and they just don't show up, they show up for class knowing they have until midnight that night. So I still have more people in class the day assignments are due than I used to. And so that's another really good kind of outcome that was unexpected, really, when I started using this program. So I show them how to save, save it as a PDF, and then in Etude, there's always a few students that will still turn in a Microsoft Word document, and I just open it, convert it to PDF, and then when I grade it, I use Bluebeam, and then I return it as a PDF because pretty much every computer can open up any PDF document. So this is going to save it as a PDF, so there's no compatibility issues. Also, and sometimes I grade on my Mac, and if somebody turns in Pages, that's fine, but if I'm on a PC or my iPad or something, I don't have issues with compatibility with them also turning it in as a PDF. So that works out really well. I think the program is pretty intuitive. The help feature, you can have, if you need help about the features, you can click here and it opens up this review, and there's a lot of information in here. There's some tutorials online as well. If you go to the Bluebeam website or even the Orange Blade website, they have some tutorials. And so I taught myself quite a bit. And a lot of the programs I use, I'm kind of self-taught. I haven't had a lot of formal training. But you can also call in. Bluebeam has tech support, and they're actually local in Southern California, so you're not talking to someone overseas if that's an issue sometimes with language barriers or problems. And so they have a really good support system as well if you need help. But for basically what I think that we would do in terms of education, the biggest thing is just every time you write a comment, remembering to drag it up into your own tools. I've lost a lot of comments over the years where I forget to drag it. So that's kind of important step as well, just to remember to drag it so you can save your comments. And it just saves a lot of time. And these proofreading symbols I use a lot. So if they've forgotten a comma, you can just drag it, put it up there, and it's already there. And so just it's pretty remarkable how many hours. I mean, I don't even know how to add up how much time I've saved since I've been using this. And I've been using it for a couple of years now, and I've been really happy about it. And then it's just, intuitive. If you want to save what you're working on, you can click Save As. You can save all of them. And if you've saved it if when you're in the document, this isn't blue. So if I drag one more comment over here, it now shows that I haven't saved it. So that's how you know if you've saved the document or not. This one I haven't added anything, but if I want to go over here and add this, I could then click Save. If I want to delete it, again, you just highlight it and you delete it. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, so this is what you do if you want to transfer the license from one computer to the other. You just click this under this Help function. You click Unregister, and then you'll have to have the program downloaded on both computers, which is not a problem. And then you'll click Register on the other one and insert your license number, and it'll come right up. The thing about doing that on multiple computers is that I recommend saving your tool chest. And to save your tool chest, there's an export. How did I do that last time? That's the view. Maybe it's here. Yeah, so you go to this little dial. They all, whenever you see this dial, it's a gear wheel. It allows you to do something. And you just click Export. And then you can export it, and I usually put the date on it. And so you see my tools Bluebeam. I've already saved the tools, and you just save it as a Bluebeam tool set, and you click Save. And then if you wanted to go and import some tools, you could do that as well. And you go here to import, and then you find the tool set that you're looking for, and you can click Open, and it will import them. I'm not going to do that because it's the same toolbox I have now. So there's a lot of functionality here that you can use. I'm trying to see what else before I go in and show you where you can get the software for a discount. Do you have any questions? Is there anything that you would see or that you think that you would need that I haven't covered for what you would want? Okay. So I'm going to go into, let me minimize this window and show you where you can get Bluebeam. So if you go to orangeblade.com and you go to the Bluebeam store, even if you just click on orangeblade.com, this is just the cheapest place that I've found to buy the software, so that's why I recommend them. It's called Orange Blade Consultants, and they are a reseller of Bluebeam. They are a partner with Bluebeam, so it's not like they're doing, you're trying to get around the system. They're a partner. And so if you go there, you can see the products. Bluebeam Review, the regular price is like $300. You keep scrolling down. And you want the academic, oh, it's on sale right now, so you can save $10. You want the academic version, and they'll require verification that you do, you're a teacher. So you don't need to chat. I don't need to chat with them. And so this is electronic, so it is downloaded electronically, and that's still okay for if you want to transfer from computer to computer. You can download it on more than one computer. What's important, the software downloads, but it's that license that you'll have to just switch back and forth. And so you can add this to the cart. And the delivery is pretty quick, usually within a day, depending on what time it is and when it's ordered. And so you have to use your academic email address, so .edu, and you can get it, and it's you can pay for it. So it's $110 for the software now, for the latest version. And again, Orange Blade is the cheapest place to get it. But if you go to Bluebeam directly, and I don't remember it's bluebeam.com. So what you're going to look for is just called Bluebeam Review. They have some other versions that have all these extra bells and whistles and cloud servers and all of that, and I don't think that academics, like for what we would use it, we would need all of that. Again, that's more for the building industry. But if you go to Bluebeam, you can actually download a 30-day trial for free. And so you can download the trial and see if you like it, kind of play around with it, and then I would recommend going to that cheaper place to buy it. So if you look here, last time I went, it was more. This is just a comparison of the different versions. So they have a version for iPad, and I've used it, but it's not, I don't know, I just use it on the computer. It's a lot more functional. They just don't have a Mac application, and last I heard when I inquired, they're working on it, but I don't know when it's going to be out. I guess they're trying to build that out. And so if you go to review, it starts at $249. And so it's cheaper through Bluebeam. The iPad is a $10 app too. But what I wanted to show you are some of their tutorials. Let's see if it's here. So they have these free training materials online. If you go right to the website, and go to their video archives or their features and tools, and so you can use their free tutorials to learn a little bit more. Now again, a lot of the stuff that I've found is kind of geared towards the building industry, but they'll teach you about markups, they'll teach you about like form editing and those sorts of things. The biggest thing that I think we use are the markups, and so some of this stuff is pretty advanced, much more than I would need to, but they have a lot of tools that you can use as well. Okay, any questions? So Orange Blade is probably the best price, but the Bluebeam website has some tools and stuff that you can use to do that. So let me go back here. And what I want to do is send you the sheet that I passed out to my students about saving as a PDF. So give me just a second, I had it. And if you have any questions, let me know while I'm getting this. No, I can't find it. Okay, give me just a second. Sorry about that. I have all these windows open and I don't know where I put it. Okay, sorry about that. I found it, so let me transfer that file to you again. And it's actually as a PDF document. Okay, so I just transferred that. So it's just one page, and it shows you, I hand it out to students at the beginning of the semester. I go in, and I actually go into a Word document on the screen and kind of show them the save as, because most students use Word. But that is pretty much the presentation I have for you. If you have any other questions, I will. That's the place to buy the software. That's the name of the software in the chat room, and then it's Bluebeam.com is where you can find some extra tutorials. And then my email address is there. Yeah, so actually let me go back in there. So that's my email address if you have questions. But let me go back into the application sharing, and let me just open up Bluebeam again, and I'll show you how to save it as a Word document. So even if they don't have Adobe, in Word they can save it as a Word document. But here I have this methodology summary. So you can hit File, and I need to just go to my toolbox. Sorry, my computer is running a little slow right now. I'm going to just do a call out here. So Save As, and you can click Word document. So if you want to, if they, have them save it as a PDF, you can save it as a Word document. And then I will open that up and show you what it looks like. Okay, so here's the Word document that I saved, and you can see all of those markups are right there still in the Word document. So it makes it really nice. So if you do want to save it as Word, you can. Okay, and then you had another question, so let me get back out of here. About Turnitin. I haven't, now Bluebeam is, they're working with other partners to have an API, which is an application program kind of sharing interface. I don't imagine they're going to do anything with Turnitin, just because they do focus on the building industry. I haven't used it with Turnitin yet, but I do my own plagiarism check with Google, because just my own experience, I found that a majority of the students just copy and paste right off the internet, so it's pretty easy to find on Google. Now, if they're taking someone's paper that had been used a couple years before, or something, I'm not going to get that. So I mean, the Turnitin can be useful, but I don't know how to integrate it with Turnitin, other than have them use Turnitin when they turn it in and save it as a PDF, but then still use Bluebeam. I don't know how to integrate that, so I'm not 100% sure, because I don't use Turnitin. I use my own sort of plagiarism check with Google. Any other questions? Yeah, I know that that happens, and so that's where Turnitin is better than Google. For my classes, I change my assignments and my topic. I teach humanities, so I change the classes, the books that we're reading, everything every semester, because there's really not a good just general survey textbook for the topics that I cover. And so that's kind of how I get around that, is that I'm always changing my classes. So it's really hard for students. I even write new tests every semester. It's a lot of work for me, but that's just how I've always taught this discipline. Oh, so how do you rewrite a student sentence? What I would do, do you teach English? Okay, so you're doing a lot of writing as well. So what I do is, if I want to rewrite a sentence, I would do a highlight here. So if I want to rewrite that sentence, and then I would do a call out. It says, see number 1 below. And so I would just number them, and then I would come down here and do a text box. And I've done this before with students that have a really just need a lot of help, extra help with writing. I would go to the select text, and I would copy it. And then T for text box, and then I would paste it here, and then I would rewrite it the way it should be done. What I've started doing, I use awkward phrasing a lot because I teach humanities. I'm not teaching like what you teach, business comm or English. So I just say awkward phrasing, and then I advise the students that I'm available in my office hours if they want to come and talk more about their paper. And when I just say awkward phrasing and run-on sentence, if they want more assistance, they're welcome to see me in my office hours, and that usually works out. Also, what I found, unfortunately, is that a lot of students don't even read the comments. At least I teach a lot of just general ed courses. They're not majors. And so when they're not reading the comments, it's a lot of extra work to make all these comments, which is why it's so much faster for me just to do awkward phrasing. And I tell them if they need extra, if they want extra time and me to spend a lot more time on their writing, just let me know. And I will be more than happy to really focus on their comments, but I don't have time to do that for every student who isn't going to read the comments. And I usually have 1 or 2 students a semester that say, yeah, I really need some extra help with writing. Could I come in your office hours, or do you mind, really kind of fleshing out your comments a little more? And I give them the option. I do that on my online classes too, that if they want a lot of feedback, let me know, and most of them don't. They just never bother. They don't read anything, read any of the comments, because I see the same mistakes over and over and over, and like I give about 3 or 4 papers a semester, and it's the same things over and over and over. So I know they're not reading their comments, which is why I love this program, because then I'm saving tons of time when they're not even going to look at them anyway. And I hate to sound cynical like that, but it's just kind of the reality. Any other questions that I can answer about Bluebeam for you? Okay, well, thank you for attending the webinar. I hope this is helpful to you. And if you, do the 30-day trial, it's worth it. And, maybe when you have paper, I'm sure we all have papers this time of the semester, or, maybe on winter break or something, just do the trial, and, you can, I'm sure you can find PDF documents that you can just kind of play around with and start learning the program a little bit. And again, I put my email in the chat, so if you want to scroll up, you can get that. You can always email me and I can hopefully answer questions. I'm not an expert in this, but I just wanted to share what I've found with faculty because it's just so amazing to save a lot of time writing the same thing over and over and over. Okay, well, have a lovely weekend, and happy Thanksgiving to you. And I give workshops every semester, so you know, on just various topics. So if you're interested in anything else, I hope to see you in another workshop. Thanks.